XT250 rides here. First video I've had out for quite a while. But the first thing we got to do is avoid this squirrel. So let's let him make up his mind. And there he goes. Alright, it's been a little while. Haven't done much riding this past summer or fall. It's January, so this is a fairly old video. This is from Memorial Day 2023. And we were on vacation. This is not Cincinnati, or the Cincinnati area. This is the Poconos region. And we're going to take a little ride here through the town of Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. Or maybe it's Tobyhanna. I don't know how it's pronounced. But we'll take a little tour and turn around and come back. So yeah, we were on vacation, my family and I decided to bring the XT, brought it out on a little Harbor Freight trailer, and we brought my son's bicycle also on the same trailer, and unfortunately, through the wind and vibration and so forth, my son's bicycle, his handlebars and brake lever got to the point where they were rubbing against the XT250 plastics and actually almost put a hole all the way through. It wore it out so bad and messed up some of the graphics. It actually looks like I dumped the bike somewhere on a trail or something. It looks pretty bad, but that's the price you pay for new adventures. Yeah, but I'm totally glad I took it with me. I went on multiple rides out here. This was fairly early one morning. I was trying to sneak out before everyone woke up. Now, when we were going to the Poconos, I was thinking of mountain ranges, lots of hills in the distance, maybe some snow-capped mountains. I wasn't aware at all what the area would be like at all. Around the Poconos, and it actually was a little more flat than I expected. I thought it'd be much more hilly than this. I'm probably not in the right place in the Poconos, but a lot of these roads were kind of straight and curvy and not too far off from what you see down in southern Ohio. In fact, I see probably more hills in southern Ohio than I see here, so I don't think I was quite in the right place. But anyway, this is a nice little ride, and there was hardly anybody on the road. Kind of had the road to myself. We'll see a couple of interesting sights here coming up. So I'm using a 3-camera setup here. I've got my 360 camera, and that's when you see the angle of me driving. Then I've got a rear-facing camera that you see right now. It's a pretty poor resolution, I admit, but it's kind of better than nothing. It's actually a dash cam. And then we have my main action cam, which is on what's called a chest rig, so it's strapped to my chest. All 3 cameras are kind of extreme budget cameras, but they kind of get the job done. The 360 camera, I think, is supposed to be 4K, but that's accounting for the entire sphere that it records. So it's counting that as 4K. So if you break it down into a frame, like you see here, it's way less than 4K resolution. I think that my action cam, which you're seeing here, is the best of the 3 in resolution and frame rate and overall quality. But you know, I like to play with the other cameras. I like to play with different camera angles. If I go buy something, I like to be able to show it to the viewer, and the 360 camera comes in real handy for that. Even if it's something I missed while I was riding, I can always zoom in on it with my little 360 camera there. Okay, now we're getting into the town of Tobyhanna. Some nice big houses. Yeah, the one on the right there is huge. There's a really cool church here, and I'm going to be turning the corner here. It'll be on the right. Really nice stonework. So I think that's essentially the main drag of Tobyhanna. Now we're heading up the road toward what appears to be a U.S. Army installation of some type. It's labeled on the map as Army Depot, but it covers what appears to be many, many acres of land on both sides of the road. So probably right around this area here is where we're starting to hit that depot property. Yeah, you'll see this fenced-in area here to the left. I think that's the Army Reserve, that kind of the closest building to the road there. And the rest of it is this Army Depot that I see on the map. And there's all kinds of fields and other stuff that comes along with it on both sides of the road. I would imagine that boosts the local economy for sure. But yeah, this was a super nice ride. Roads were in good shape. Weather was perfect. I wasn't in a hurry. No traffic. And you know, other than that squirrel, the animals really kind of stayed at bay. I was a little bit concerned that I'd be seeing a lot of deer jumping out in front of me, or raccoons or whatever else comes out of these woods. There's quite a bit of forested area up here. So I was definitely concerned about some of the wildlife interfering with my ride, but maybe it was late enough in the morning that I didn't have that issue at all. I did have a little bit of trouble with the sun in my eyes. Now, I've got a pair of sunglasses, which helps. There's also a shade that you can pull down inside the helmet. It's like a little lever that you flip and a shade will come down in front. I've used that before in extreme situations. Now here's this, I think this is a dam or causeway here. This is Tobyhanna Lake. Looks like a pretty big body of water on the map. I never ended up going there for any reason, but there's, I think, a park attached to it up here. And here's that low resolution rear-facing camera. Hey, if you think that I should stop using this camera because it's ugly or whatever, horrible resolution, it's just not worth it, let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm getting toward the end of my, at least the one-way distance of my trip here, because I'm going to be turning around up here in this park entrance in a minute. I kind of regret that I didn't spend more time in the park and maybe go back and check it out. Yeah, here's the park right here. If you can't tell by my setup, I'm kind of a penny pincher. And I probably expected that there was some sort of entrance fee, and I was like, yeah, you know what, forget it. Yeah, so the rest of this trip is pretty much my return back. And we're headed back to downtown Tobyhanna. You know, another piece of gear that you can see on my handlebars, other than my 360 camera, which is right in the center there. If you look over to the extreme right, there's kind of a blue box. That's a really old GPS unit. I think it's a Garmin, but it's geez, it must be from the 90s. I'm not sure why I keep that thing on there. It's good if it's an emergency situation and you're lost and you got to figure out your way home. But you know, I've got my phone in my pocket at all times. I could always just bring my phone out. And I did have a phone mount on here. I ended up taking it off because it kind of blocks my speedo, and I like to be able to see the gauges easier, and I don't want it sitting out in the wind and run the risk of it flying off. So I just keep my phone in my pocket, but I could always use that to come back with GPS maps if I had to. But yeah, I've got that ancient Garmin sitting there. I'll probably end up taking that off before I ride next year. Really, I never use it. I've got that plugged into a USB outlet that I installed on my bike some time ago. I've got it wired so it's only on when the motorcycle's on, when the engine's running, to avoid draining the battery. And that's actually what I use to power the rear-facing camera. So we're going to go right by all the same sites again. So I think that these are some of the fields associated with that Army depot. Might be athletic fields there, ball diamonds and so forth. And here we are up to the main grounds of the Army Depot. You know something else, when I've got these multiple cameras, I also have a couple of sources of the sound. My 360 camera records audio just fine. I don't like the tone that the 250 engine sounds like on that recording, though, when I use that camera. It's got a really tinny sound, and it makes the motor sound horrible in my opinion. For this video, I decided to use the Action Cam, the mic. It has an external mic that I can stick on my helmet, and that helps on wind noise. But I still get a lot of air coming through the helmet sometimes, and it still is a little bit overwhelming. And frankly, for this recording, it's a little overwhelming, but I'm going with the Action Cam mic on this one. Yeah, now we're back in town here. It's a beautiful church. I was kind of surprised with this town. It seems like a lot of these big, massive houses maybe some of the businesses in the area. I don't see, you know, McDonald's or Dollar General store or any of those kind of places. I just see these large buildings on the main road. So it's kind of an old school town, which I definitely appreciate. So yeah, I'm just riding through here by memory. I looked at a map beforehand and tried to remember which turns to take and everything, but coming up right here, somewhere around here, I missed my turn, and I've got to turn around at the gas station and go back. I think that was my turn right there on the left. So turn around here at this Sunoco station and head back. You know, someday I'd like to take the XT on a long trip with a backpack and a tent. Maybe do some camping on the way, and you know, like a 3 or 4 night deal. Go on a long trek. But until then, this, you know, bringing my bike on a trailer kind of works, and I would recommend it if you have a dual sport and it's not a real highway cruiser. You can always bring it with you somewhere on a trailer or on a hitch. So I highly recommend it. Anyway, I guess I'll sign off. Everybody stay safe, and if you get a chance for an adventure, bringing your bike someplace new, go for it. XT250 out.